Another round of layoff at tech giant Infosys. The company has terminated 195 trainees after they failed to clear what is called internal assessments, taking the total number of trainee exits to over 800 since February. The latest terminations come amid a sluggish IT business environment, with freshers continuing to face the brunt of performance filters. Now, back in February, over 400 trainees were let go of from the Mysuru campus of Infosys. The move triggered sharp criticism from IT Workers Union, NITES, which is Nascent Information Technology Employees Senate, which demanded a detailed investigation including all the documents submitted by Infosys and findings by the Labour Department. Earlier this month, another 240 trainees were shown the door, making this the fourth round of layoffs. As per news report in the New Indian Express, that around 250 impacted trainees have now enrolled in training programs via UP Grad and NIIT, while about 150 have registered for outplacement support. NITES has also filed a second complaint with the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, raising serious concerns over the treatment of trainees. Interestingly, the Karnataka Labour Department earlier found no violation in its inspection at Infosys, a finding that NITES strongly contests. Infosys CEO Salil Parekh, meanwhile, said that the company has a rigorous assessment system and claimed support was extended to the impacted, affected trainees to help them either find roles within Infosys or perhaps secure opportunities elsewhere. We also wrote to Infosys if they had any comment to make, but so far that has elicited no response. The question remains, however, is corporate efficiency coming at the cost of entry-level job security? Let me now go across to an expert on this. He's an advocate, Harpreet Singh Saluja, who's president of Nascent Information Technology Employees Senate, or NITES. Thank you so much, Mr. Saluja, for joining us on this broadcast. 800 from the time of February. Who likes to be laid off? Who likes to be fired? Even at my age, I would hate it if I'm fired, although they may say, listen, make way for younger people. Sure, but to be asked to go, golden handshake is so much better than being fired. Mr. Saluja, as I understand, the recruitment policy in big companies like Amazon, Google, as well as Infosys is very rigorous. I mean, there are rounds after rounds after rounds. Why is it that they find that a particular trainee is not up to the mark, during the period, and then the entire crab-like situation begins?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Sudhaji, for inviting me in the show. This problem started 2.5 years back when these employees were working, studying in the colleges, and Infosys and other companies also, they started hiring these freshers as campus recruits. So they went through series of interviews and then assessments, and then they were selected by Infosys, but they were kept in a limbo. They were not provided with a joining date, and when these employees approached us, there was a delay of almost 2 years. So after 2.5 years, when we fought and when we filed a complaint on behalf of these employees to the central government as well as the state government, then under pressure, Infosys had issued offer letters with joining dates of October 2024 to these employees. And probably when these people onboarded, they did not have an idea that after just joining for 3 or 4 months, they will be laid off in February. So I'm a bit concerned over here according to, what the process Infosys is following over here, because in 3 or 4 months, you cannot gauge a person whether that person would be able to work under pressure or work under a certain
Sorry
environment
to
or not.
interject, Mr. Saluja, but we do have probation for 3 months. Even in many media companies, where you assess the candidate, because like I said, it's a rigorous interview. You want to be a journalist, you need to know news, you need to have a nose for news, you have to interest in news, you need to be very, very quick. It's not a job where you're sitting at a desk. We are running 24/7, mentally and physically. Within 3 months, it's very clear whether you can do it, breaking news, whether you can run and do it or not do it. So I think 3 months is fair. And internal assessment, what I don't understand is that those 3 months, have they been given warnings? Have they had a chat with their immediate boss? Because let's understand, Mr. Saluja, it's a job. But for that job, several of these kids take loans, they relocate. They also make
Right.
financial commitments based on the pay package that they are getting and will get once they are confirmed, etc. What about the emotional distress, Mr. Saluja? That's huge.
Right. The other part, why I quoted 6 months, particularly over here, Sudhaji, because when these recruits received offer letter from the company, they were not even told that you will be placed under apprenticeship training program under the government. When these employees for onboarding process, when they reached Mysuru, then the company forced them to sign a contract, which is NATS, National Apprenticeship Training Scheme. And under that contract, it is clearly mentioned that the training period will be of 6 months. Before 6 months, if the company or the employee wants to willfully terminate this contract, then they need to take appropriate permission from the government, which is the apprenticeship advisor in this case, according to Apprenticeship Act of 1961. So the government, the violations has been clearly done by Infosys. They have not taken any kind of permission before these layoffs from the state government or the apprenticeship advisor. And apart from that, the law also mandates that 3 months stipend needs to be paid to these apprenticeship at the time of layoff. That amount has also not been paid to these apprenticeships. The other repercussion to these layoff is these employees have already wasted 2.5 years waiting for this onboarding process.
Right.
Apart from that, once they have been laid off, for finding new job, it is becoming very difficult for these employees to land up in a
Yeah,
new
you
job.
make
So
very valid points, Mr. Saluja, that this NAT or the term that the form or the contract that they signed with those in their Mysuru complex, it was a surprise, is what you are claiming, that they did not even know about it. And many of them waited for almost 2.5 years to be onboarded, and that this happens. I mean, that's really very shocking. And Mr. Saluja, the thing is that with the IT sector slowing down, it's a double whammy. Where do they go and find jobs? Because let's not forget, if you are laid off from Infosys, there is also a stigma. Oh, you got laid off from
right.
Infosys. Imagine. Don't you think that's true? There is a stigma, there is a kind of bias against these people.
100% sure. The other thing also which is involved over here is their family members, when they received the joining dates, their parents, their relatives enjoyed so much and they had a very good time. They told the neighbors also that my son or my brother has landed up a job in Infosys. Now after 3 or 4 months after the layoff, these employees are when came back to home. It has become very difficult for these people to, I mean, survive in the society. There is a social stigma which is attached, that why this candidate was laid off by Infosys just within 6 months
All
only.
right,
They
Mr.
are not able
Saluja.
to find another
Yeah,
jobs.
right. Mr. Saluja, what did Infosys, according to you, how did they react? They say we have a very strict internal assessment program. If you do not pass it, if you do not go past it, that's it. You are laid off. What has their response been? Because 800 in February alone, that's a huge number. I know Infosys is humongous, but 800 is not small.
Right, they are blatantly violating the laws and playing with the lives of younger generation. These people with a very high hopes to join IT industry had, completed their education and then uh, got selected in Infosys. They were very happy at the time of joining, but after 2.5 years of waiting, they have, I mean, it has become a very bad remark on their resume, that why after getting hired in Infosys, why these people were not onboarded for 2.5 years. Now that gap is not justifiable. They are not able to justify this time lapse to any other organization. Considering the market situation also, these employees are unable to find any other jobs, and once these people are laid off from Infosys, it becomes very difficult to make another employer understand that what was the drawback with this particular employee, why this employee was laid off. See, clearly coming out in the media, and Infosys has told everyone that these people were not up to the date and these people are not having the skills and they failed in the exam. That's why that's the reason why they had been laid off. But we have concrete evidence of the employees also who have scored 65% passing marks. Still, these people were laid off. So there is no transparency at all in the this testing period, or whatever the
Right. So
tests
that's a
or
moot
whatever the
point that there
exams
is no
later.
transparency, there is no clarity how you are judged
Right.
according to you, Mr. Saluja. Now,
Yes, correct.
what is the forward movement? I mean, what are you planning to do to help these trainees who've been laid off, Mr. Saluja?
See, ma'am, we have already filed a complaint with Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Mr. Jayant Sinha is the honorable minister for that ministry. He has particularly from his own office and email ID, he has sent the complaint what we had submitted to the director of Board of Apprenticeship Training, Eastern Region. Now, the employees who were the complainants and the NITES, we have received an email from C. Raja Ramarao, who is the Deputy Director of the Eastern Region, and he is looking into the complaint himself. He had asked for certain documents, what the employees had received at the time of joining and at the time of terminations. Then we have already provided, and the investigation is under process, and soon we will prove that Infosys has violated the Apprenticeship Training Act, and here they have done a very they have set a very bad precedent, because if
Right.
government does not take action against Infosys, other companies will follow the same procedure, and
You
it
know,
will become very difficult for the employees or the freshers.
Mr. Saluja, this is not the first time and this won't be the last. And it's so unfortunate. Remember, on a Zoom call, the CEO of a company, he sacked 900 people. It's happened with very, very big companies, established companies. In this country, in most cases, when you're laid off, and particularly last salary and the next day, suppose I get salary on the 1st and I'm laid off on the 3rd, and I'm sent home. There is no notice period. But where is the way out? I mean, these cases are languishing in courts. It's always the employer who has a bigger hand. The employee is just a mute spectator helplessly looking for jobs, sir.
Right, correctly. That's the reason why, Sudhaji, we had submitted a contention to the central government also to have a welfare board for IT employees separately. See, BD and cigar workers have a welfare board, cine workers have a welfare board. Then why the IT industry, which is providing so much revenue to the government, why the government is unable to set up a welfare board kind of thing for IT employees? The only problem over here is the labor laws are in the constitutional list of the constitution. So the problem over here is, anytime we are going to the central government with a complaint, they will send it to the state government, and the state government accordingly does not take appropriate measures a lot of time. So the complaint just gets moved from here to there and one table to another table. In the meantime, IT employees, if he is fortunate enough to find another job after layoff, he will withdraw his complaint. Otherwise, there are certain employees who have fought against giants also in labor court, and they have succeeded, and they have achieved success against this illegal and unethical terminations also. But the
Absolutely.
thing over here is, the employees needs to be very, very strong mentally to fight against these corporate giants.